no.
Take that, bitch. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Counterpoint on Podlander, Drunkcast, and Outlander podcast. My name is Julie Starbird, and I am here with Allison Shoemaker and Scottie Caldwell. We come to you today with this very important job, and that is to decide whether or not the Outlander episode, Freedom and Whisky, episode... I don't know. Welcome to Podlander, Drunkcast, and Outlander podcast. I'm Allison. That's Julie. That's Scottie.
Yeah.
As you can tell, there's a different vibe this week. Let's do this.
Season 3, episode...
Season 3, I'm looking it up. Season 3, episode 8. Season 3, episode
Probably
7.
8.
It's the finale of season 3.
It is not.
the halfway point.
I thought it was.
But it's
oh
the
my
halfway point.
God.
Julie,
It's been a long time.
Julie, they haven't even gotten on the boat
Has
yet.
it been a while? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Julie, you think it's the end of the season because you blocked out everything with the boat. The boat. I did. In fact, what boat? What boat? Okay, so the episode in question is in season 3. It is the episode where Claire goes back to goes back to Scotland. Yes, goes back to Scotland to rejoin Jamie.
It is episode 5.
Oh my God.
wow.
Okay. Season 3, episode 5, Freedom and Whisky. Allison came to me and she said, watch this episode. And I said, nay, I shan't. So I got put in the moderator spot today, and Allison and Scottie are going to counterpoint whether or not Freedom and Whisky is a Christmas episode.
Directed by Brendan Maher. Written by
Tony Graffia!
Tony
Graffia.
Okay.
I
love
wrote Tony Graffia! Exclamation point in my notes.
Okay, so I guess we should just get started with who has what view. Scottie, what's your view?
Unexpectedly pro. Yes.
It is a Christmas
Yes,
episode.
Christmas.
Allison?
I am taking con because Scottie is pro.
Okay. So
I could be persuaded either way. I came locked and loaded, baby. I could do this with myself.
it's an aural medium. So let's give Scottie, the pro, yes, this is a Christmas episode. Let's give her opening statement.
Yes.
What do you think? And just take as much time as you need, but make it like an elevator pitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you think Outlander season 3, episode 5 is the one where Jamie goes back and Claire goes back and sees Jamie and he faints and it's fucking amazing and you're on the edge of your seat weeping when your roommates come home and they say, what happened? And you said, I just watched the episode where she goes back and sees Jamie. She did it! She did it! And that's what you remember, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you there is so much Christmas in this episode, and if you've ever watched a Hallmark Christmas movie, I watched half of one yesterday, it was terrible, you will see so many things. We've got a Christmas ornament from a child's first birthday. We've got an old friend unexpectedly in town. We've got not one, but 2 dead parents. We've got reunited love. We've got old jewelry, and we've got second chances. Oh, Christmas movies love that shit.
They do.
And then there's like decorations just fucking everywhere.
Yeah, there are. It's true.
And at the end, Bree puts on a Santa hat. Come on.
This is a very strong argument.
Thank you.
Allison, your opening statement?
Friends, there are 2 types of Christmas episodes. There is the Christmas episode that is definitely a Christmas episode. It is vital that it take place at Christmas. It is celebratory. It is a little bit sad. And it is all tied in thematically, right? Like a really good Christmas episode. If it earns it, like the episode of Glow that we just watched, as an example, it's a continuation of the plot, and it feels completely organic that it's at Christmas. There's that kind of Christmas episode. Then I wrote an episode of television. Wouldn't it be great if we put a tree in it? And friends, I love this episode. And I was also prepared to make the pro argument. And I will also probably contribute some pros because
I've got a con or 2.
Yeah, great. However, I will say, if I've got a bone to pick, it is that it just feels like they were like, this should be a Christmas episode. Even though it didn't air at Christmas. That's the other piece. I love when a Christmas episode just airs at random. But this, I think, was in October, which is just like, just wait till November, and then you're fine. Am I right? Yes, October 8th. Not even late October.
Halloween.
That's not, it's May, who cares? It's organically Christmas in the story. We're getting close to the end of the year. Let's break the seal. Let's go before Mariah.
Oh, man.
No. So, while there is a lot of Christmas in this episode, almost all of it feels like they're just putting a hat on the whole episode, including, I am very sorry to say, the title card, which is the child. It's Brianna's first Christmas, 1948. However, those are Claire's hands, so it's not thematically tied in the way that Brianna's story. If it's Brianna's first birthday, what are we looking at Brianna's first birthday? It's her questions about her relationship with Frank. IMO. I think you can still justify Claire, but I think those would be Frank's hands if we were really tying it in, because that is the question she is asking herself. Claire's question is whether to leave Brianna. Brianna's question. Scottie's giving me such facial expressions.
There is a lot of side-eye happening to my immediate left.
She's about to destroy this point. That's fine. It's just not actually all that tied in, I don't think, to what this episode is really about. It's not about memory. It's about what's in the present. It's not about tradition. It's about this moment. It's about connection and now.
Scottie, your rebuttal.
Claire Fraser says to Roger, I left him once and it was the hardest thing I have ever done, and I did it because I had to. I did it for Bree. I don't think I could do it again. All I could think of the whole episode was, this is a mother preparing to never see her child again. This is the death of a parent when they are both still alive. And both mother and daughter have a say in it. Claire wouldn't go if Bree didn't tell her to.
That's a great point.
And so
Compelling.
the whole episode, I think, it is gut-wrenching, and I don't know if I would make the same decision if I were in Claire's shoes.
I don't think I would.
I don't know. The whole thing is, I'm going to walk out of my daughter's life and never see her again. And this is a child saying, Mom, I love you, and I'm prepared for you to die now so that you can be happy and have what you want.
Okay. The thing about doing con when you're actually pro is that you do have to...
You're very easily persuaded.
Well, I do actually think
I think
that
your point was very good.
a lot of the Christmas stuff is unearned. But like, if we're peeling back the curtain a moment, my pros list was like 15 and my cons was like 6, right? But it's more interesting to talk about this episode in the context, because is it a good episode? Yes.
Yes.
No argument. So there's no debating freedom and Whiskey good.
So good.
It's one of the best episodes of the show.
Yeah. Yes.
There is debating whether or not it's a Christmas episode, and I do think there is a legitimate argument to be made, but you were totally right about the title card. That was such bullshit. I was 100% pulling that out of my ass. However,
well done, ma'am.
However, I do maintain that it is pretty inorganic. They have to force it a little bit.
Yeah.
For reasons that actually make it a little bit harder to follow. I buy that Roger would travel across the Atlantic Ocean without warning Brianna and Claire that he was coming.
He would absolutely do
because
that.
first of all, men.
Yeah.
Right? They wouldn't think, oh, they have to change the sheets in the spare bedroom. They wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
No, they would not.
Also, they frankly they have not known each other very long. They are obviously got very close. It was a really intense friendship. But at this point in the show, they spent like 2 months together in Scotland. Mm-hmm. That is not a person you just show up on their doorstep at any time of year. Now, imagine that it is the fucking week of Christmas.
Absolutely not. Like, this whole week, people have been asking me to do stuff, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I cannot. I am already solidly booked through the end of this month.
It's very hard to be so popular.
It's hard to... I'm supporting your point, which is it's hard to just show up on somebody when they have... Like, they're working. They are...
Don't show up on somebody anytime. I mean, there are circumstances where that doesn't apply, right? If Teresa came into town, my partner Tom's sister Teresa came into town to surprise him. Mm-hmm. She wasn't surprising me. This is an important point. It could have been Roger told Claire, but not Brianna, and it was a surprise for Bree.
But he didn't tell shit.
He didn't tell anybody. No. And then it's Christmas. You're going to show up unexpectedly at Christmas? No.
You know what you're getting from me? A box of chocolates, motherfucker, because that's all I can pick
Wait
up.
a minute. Counterpoint to this.
We're going in.
Roger is recently orphaned and has no one. Like, that's what he says to Claire, is like, this is his first Christmas without the Reverend. He might have just made a bad choice out of grief.
Okay.
He doesn't have any murder.
He doesn't.
Mrs. Graham. Or is Mrs. Graham?
I think
dead?
Mrs. Graham is dead as well.
Yeah.
No, here's
Bummer.
the thing. Also, he has Iona.
Also, he has a full-time job. What am I talking about?
has-
He's an
yeah.
adult.
Iona. He has the
The little lady
Yes.
who likes him.
yes, who I think at this point is married with kids.
Oh.
I cannot remember when that happens in the book. You don't spend a ton of time with her, obviously. I think that is a perfectly valid reason to travel and spend time with them. 100%. Especially when you add in that he's got the info that he's bringing, right?
To call them first and say,
Yeah.
hi.
Even just call from the airport.
I was
be
thinking
like-
about coming to Boston for Christmas.
Or I'm in
Yeah.
Boston.
Hey, I just landed. I'm working on some research. If you fucking have a
I'm a
cover.
historian.
Yeah, have a cover.
I'm at Harvard.
They say, Julie, they say dog with a bone so many times in this episode, and every time I went, yeah, call from the
Okay.
airport.
Yep,
You
yep,
could
yep.
even say, I know it's really impulsive and kind of weird, and you are under no obligation.
I will get a hotel room.
Don't show
He
up at my
has a
door.
hotel
Right.
room.
Yeah.
He booked a hotel room,
Okay,
which
he
is
did
good
do that.
manners.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
He had someplace else to go. Call. You do not have to take me in. I booked a hotel room, but I came to Boston. I know it's impulsive. I wanted to see you and Brianna and celebrate Christmas. That, first of all, they wouldn't
Warning.
have had to be mid-fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second, Claire could have prepared herself a little bit more.
Mhm.
The nice lady's having some big feelings.
She's got some things going on right now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Guys.
do you have another pro?
Yeah. Well, frankly, okay.
Frankly.
Oh, nice. Oh wow, Julie really liked that one. That was a hit.
I like it anytime Frank comes into the convo.
I like it anytime Frank comes into the convo, but specifically when it's about him eating Claire out in the opening minutes of this television series. Remember that? You know, anytime I get mad at Outlander, we need to remember that this series chose to start with oral sex in an abandoned castle.
Yeah.
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 It's good.
Get back
Yeah.
to basics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. As
All
far as we know, non-reciprocal oral
As
sex
far as we know.
performed on our heroine
Yes.
in an abandoned castle.
You
Frank.
have to give me a bath.
Oh,
Claire.
God,
Claire.
All right, so pro.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, I'm very well up on my Christmas movies, having watched one half of Lindsay Lohan's yesterday. And that's how I felt. And, well, we sort of already did this one, but I said, I frankly, an old friend from the past coming to town unexpectedly.
Yep.
Because it's Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
It is a trope.
Oh, dead parents.
Yeah.
Reverend Wakefield is dead.
Mhm.
Frank
Dead.
is dead. How do we feel about that? It's the first Christmas since we've lost our loved ones.
And Claire's about to make herself dead.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's that sort of, in the way that Christmas is always fun, jingle bell, sparkle, tinsel, tinsel. And also, I'm kind of sad. It's dark. The holidays are hard. Christmas feelings are always sad a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
For, I think, anyone, but especially if you've recently gone through something difficult, that first Christmas is
Yeah.
so hard.
If you were going to make a list,
So I think
of-
having a recent grief in the face of something big and momentous that you sort of are fighting against the current of jolliness, that feels so Christmas to me.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I think if you were going to make a list of the 50 best Christmas songs of all time, it would be 49 songs that are at least kind of sad, and All I Want for Christmas Is You.
yes.
It would be 48 songs.
Oh,
that are kinda
Feliz
sad,
Navidad.
and
Apologies.
Feliz Navidad. And all I want for Christmas is You.
Yes.
Yes, and that is obviously an exaggeration, but I mean, if you were, your top 10 would for sure be like, maybe Feliz Navidad sneaks in there. All I Want for Christmas Is You is definitely there. And then Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Sad.
Very sad. Originally written at wartime. You don't know this? This is my,
No.
here we go. By the way, this is your Christmas episode. Does this count as a Christmas
Yeah!
episode? The answer is yes.
Duh.
The origin story of that song, I could Wikipedia it to make sure I'm getting the details right, but just fact check me at some point.
Yeah.
This is for sure the gist. It was written during the Second World War, and the lyrics were originally, by next year, we all will be together if the fates, oh God, it gets me in my feelings every time. By next year, we all will be together if the fates allow. But till then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. Instead of through the years we all will be together if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough. Yeah.
Woof.
It's a beautiful song.
Yes, Melancholy is a
Yeah.
very...
Yeah, so that's my point.
White Christmas. That's a very melancholy song.
Yeah.
They're all, and then when you get into like, Please Come Home for Christmas. Yeah.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
And the very next day,
You gave
Give
it
it away.
away
this year.
to save me from tears.
I'll give it to someone special.
Yeah.
That one's not just melancholy. That one's just shady.
Yeah.
That one's cutting. Like,
Yeah.
listen here, bitch.
But it sounds so gentle.
Because of the birth of the baby Jesus,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a dick to you.
I'm just going to tell you like
You
it
know what?
is.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. Yeah. Merry
And
Christmas.
with a side of jingle bells.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my point is dead parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's
then,
a really good point.
do you have another rebuttal, or have you been?
Yes.
Nope.
No, I've
Still
got.
go- okay.
Oh, I've got notes.
Excellent.
Aired in October. Oh, here's an example of a specific example of the Christmas being tacked on, and also Tony, I love you, but this is a little nit I have to pick. The lecture from the professor, who I was 100% sure was about to hit on Brianna because I didn't remember that character. He's like, "Come and one all you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere," and he's talking about Paul Revere, and it's very clearly the first 5 minutes of a lecture, and then he goes, "That'll be it, everybody. We'll see you in January." And that's the end of the winter break, or the beginning of the winter break. So he goes from like 3 sentences about Paul Revere, that's obviously the beginning of a lecture, to "Enjoy your Christmas, everyone."
Also, if I can just say, it's like, did you know? The poem is embellished. That's not really how it happened. History depends on who's telling it. Have a good break, everyone at Harvard. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? This is a Harvard history class at Harvard. Do you know that sometimes history depends on who's telling it?
Like everyone.
We're at Harvard.
At this place has done that for all time.
Sir, are you tenured? Because Jesus Christ.
Or also, we only know history because people like the people who get to go to Harvard have told us what history is.
Yeah.
We know, buddy.
All right, next. That was no way that was actually the lecture. Here's my next. We're going through all my cons because they're not good. But here's a good one. It's not called Freedom and Peppermint Schnapps.
Allison.
It's not called Freedom and Cocoa, bitches.
Yeah.
I'm going
It's not called Freedom and Eggnog.
to make some more noises for a second.
Okay, next. This one, I think, holds up. No one drives Claire to the airport. They both drive.
Wistfully taking a cab to the airport is very sad Christmas mood.
Yeah, but that's very sad Christmas when you're alone, not when you're saying goodbye to your child forever. There are 3 of them. Bree wouldn't even have to go home sad by herself. She would get like a full hour more with her mom. Claire would have company. What if she forgot something? What about that? And then this is pre 9/11, so they'd be able to go right to the gate with her.
And also maybe have a run-through scene,
A
which
run
is
through the airport
super
is
Christmas.
super Christmas.
Yeah. Instead, Claire just gets in the car, and Brianna's like looking out the window. I actually think Sophie Skelton is very good in this scene, so I'm playing this up for comedic effect. She's looking out the window, watching her mom drive away. She's like, "Roger, hold on a second." And she walks into the kitchen and has a moment where she's like, "I'm collecting my feelings." And then she picks up a tray full of uncovered, just sitting there, all prepped and ready to go, lobster rolls and Boston cream pie.
Yeah.
Is this Christmas Day? Where did those come from?
She put a Santa hat on, Allison.
I know she did, but where did those come from?
On Christmas Day.
Is it Christmas Day or is it Christmas Eve? And even if it is Christmas Eve, so those were just sitting the whole time you were saying goodbye to Claire and doing presents and stuff. Those were just sitting on the counter.
Hopefully not the
Plated?
lobster rolls.
Amen.
So what they're not showing us is when Roger starts throwing up at 2:00 in the morning.
That's also very Christmas, though.
That's true. Okay, she's flying on what? Christmas Eve? No way. Okay, so Claire wants to make sure that Brianna has as much financial support as possible, right? She signs the deed over to her house. She gives her all the accounts. We are making sure that Brianna is as set for the rest of her life as she can possibly be, right? And then she chooses to fly out on what? Christmas Eve? It's the most expensive time of the year to fly. She could go,
Even in 1960.
surely. I mean, she could go at it, but she could go at any time.
But
She's
let's also
also a
remember she's
doctor
a
and a Harvard
surgeon.
professor.
She's a
They're
surgeon.
fine.
She's doing okay.
Yeah, but But that's money that Brianna could spend on traveling to Scotland to go back in time through the
I'm
stones.
assuming Brianna is independently wealthy at this point because she would have had an inheritance from her father.
That's true.
Yeah. I think they
in
got money.
addition to the property that her mother is deeded over to her and the money that her mother is deeded over to her,
That's
I think
fine.
Bree can support herself fine.
But it's not just a cost issue. That's a good point. But that's not just a cost issue. You willingly fly on Christmas Eve when you don't have to? Second
Why
question.
did it have to be Christmas Eve?
I don't know because
Do we know it's Christmas Eve?
we know that it's Christmas. Like at any point that week, traveling is going to be rough.
Yes.
I think we can safely assume it is the week of Christmas. They exchange gifts and Brianna reads A Christmas Carol out loud to Roger, right?
Yeah.
That is extremely Christmas.
Yeah.
And they're on Christmas break. It is close to Christmas. So no matter when they fly, unless it is literally Christmas morning, it is going to be hellacious. The worst day to go to the airport. Just the worst. And finally, if I may, why the fuck is it not Christmas in Edinburgh?
Because Christmas as we know it today was basically invented by the Victorians and then shored up and jammed into place in the 50s.
By Coca-Cola.
Ding, ding, ding. So remember our Tudor thing that we watched? Christmas, first of all, is not the most important Christian holiday.
Sure.
It is the most important capitalist holiday. Even in a town like Edinburgh, you might see some like holly and stuff, but like they wouldn't have Christmas trees. They wouldn't have candles in the windows.
Sure.
They wouldn't have a bunch of Christmas stuff. Also, Edinburgh she didn't land in Edinburgh, right? She landed at the Stones near Inverness and had to take the coach to Edinburgh.
Great point.
So I think we're looking at least a couple days travel.
Yes. What you're saying is that this is New Year's Day.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, great. That's a good point. But also, you couldn't transfer just a little festive? Because it seems to me like this episode was written and it's not Christmas, and then someone was like, you know what, Tony, this should be Christmas. So then we wrote in some Christmas.
And we put a hat on Brianna.
Yes.
And put a tree in the room.
Yes. I mean, I don't actually think that I'm doing Counterpoint.
I know, but I do kind of feel that.
There's some merit to it, I think.
There's a little bit of that.
You know what else Christmas movies love?
What?
Reunited lost loves.
That's true.
Like, you knew each other a long time ago, and then, like, it's a magical season where people are just taking stock of their lives and thinking about things, and then suddenly your long-lost love comes through the standing stone after 20 years from the future, and you reunite, and that's Christmassy.
You know what else is really Christmassy? Passing out.
Yes, that's true.
It's so funny.
It was.
So
he did such
beautiful.
a great job when he fell down.
And like, bam, end of episode. It's
that
so
was
good.
very funny.
You know what's is Christmassy? Family heirlooms. Do you know what they were looking at, that Lindsay Lohan movie? Oh my God, every 5 seconds. It was like, oh, this is a photo of my dead mom. Oh, this is a photo of my dead mom. Oh, my dead mom gave this to me. Oh, my dead mom gave this to me. So much gifts from old dead people. What does Claire give Brianna? The pearls that she got on her wedding from her her husband's dead mother. Oh, look at these. I gave these to you. We love heirlooms in a Christmas episode.
True. That's
we
a good
love
point.
heirlooms in a Christmas movie. So old jewelry went in my pro Christmas movie column.
That's good. That's good. Here I have, if they really wanted to make this episode a Christmas episode, they could have given me the gift of including the saran wrap.
Yeah!
Yeah, whatever happened to that little film of saran wrap blowing through the breeze?
So Keenan told me about the peanut butter sandwich and the saran wrap that she like eats to steady her nerves before she walks. It's like right before she walks into Edinburgh or whatever.
It's one of my favorite moments in all of the books.
When I was watching this episode, I was waiting for the PB&J because I had like implanted that memory of Keenan telling me that it happened into my experience of watching the episode. So when she just like walked into the town, I was like, I mean, it makes sense. She needs to go ahead and like, there's only 5 minutes left. She needs to go see Jamie. But I was waiting for the PB&J and the little saran wrap just going.
Just floating away.
Terrible time traveler.
It's the first litter.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this. Oops.
We shouldn't eat it. You know. Okay. So those are my counterpoints. It's a Christmas episode.
All right.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
is.
I got
it
one
is-
more.
Go,
Yeah.
please, because
So
I also have pros.
Yeah, because when she's like, Joe, the man in Scotland, I didn't tell you, he's Brianna's real father. And he's like, hey, Lady Jane, I know you've been weird ever since you got back in Scotland. Like, and he's like, from the beginning, he's like, you're different. You're into this dude. Like, he's gently being a good friend and like pushing her to follow her heart and realize what she really wants, which is such a Christmas movie move. And he says, like, how many people don't get a second chance at love? And here you have a second chance at love. And I feel like getting second chances is big Christmas movie energy.
Yeah.
I will say the counterpoint, it feels like it's not a Christmas movie move to say you take second chances at Christmas, or what I like to call the Love Actually rule, which is anything you want to make your characters do, you just justify it by saying, because it's Christmas. So
And at Christmas, you tell the truth.
and at Christmas, because it's Christmas.
I hate that
What
movie.
does that even
I
mean?
do too.
What does that
movie is
mean?
terrible. I
But-
love Actually, or as I like to think of it, 8 minutes of Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Which is, it's more than 8 minutes, but not much. But it's the best 8 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, second chances, Christmas movie.
That's very
Counterpoint,
Christmas movie.
they don't say because it's Christmas.
Which
So
I'm
maybe
glad
that's a
for.
draw.
I just wish that it had either been slightly more Christmas, or it could even still have been set at Christmas and then been like 25% less Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just
Interestingly, I said, so in the same scene, right? They say goodbye to Claire. She gets in the cab, and then Bree serves Roger room temperature lobster rolls. Saying goodbye to Claire, not a Christmas movie at all. That is super contained to those characters and their lives and has nothing to do with any outside social happenings, any religious tradition, any parties, nothing. It's just these three characters and their stories. So I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this is not a Christmas episode.
well, all
this
the
is
be-
these
and it's-
three characters.
That's all the best scenes too,
Right.
because that's also the
when Roger tells her about A. Malcolm.
yes,
and
when Claire runs into Frank's
Lover.
lover at the like ceremony.
yeah,
Um,
nothing Christmas in there at all.
No.
But then the second the door closes and Bree turns around, that is the, sorry guys, but like kind of treacliest Christmas episode-y, warm fuzzy.
Anyway,
it's
my
fine.
mom died. Here's a lobster roll.
Yeah, like she
Let me
puts
read
on
some
the, she
Charles
puts on the
Dickens.
hat. They have a chaste kiss on the couch. They eat the treats he mentioned wanting to try in America, and she reads Charles Dickens. It's fine. It's nice. I believe it for those characters mostly, but that's the one that like tipped into like, oh, this is a Christmas
Yeah.
episode for me.
Well, because there's also like a much more interesting tie-in if this is the way they wanted to go, which I'll get to in just a second. It's
Ooh.
one of my cons, but they're just a bunch of little things where you can sort of tell that was shoehorned in. For example, when Claire tells Roger about A Christmas Carol, Bree's not there. So unless they also talked about this, Bree would have no reason to connect Roger's gift with this childhood memory, which we
Oh.
don't even know that it's a positive memory from her. for
yeah,
her.
or that she even remembers it that
Yeah,
well.
I mean, her house, it was presumably pretty toxic sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Claire and Frank were obviously very devoted to being good co-parents, right? Like we see a lot of good co-parenting, even though they were bad partners for each other. And ultimately Frank was going to make a pretty shitty parenting decision. But
oh right, because he was going to move back to the UK
and take her.
Yeah.
With this blonde woman that we see in this episode. So yeah, so that piece of it, we have no reason to assume that that's a positive memory for Bree.
Yeah,
and
that's
there's
fair.
also no reason to assume that she has any idea that Claire told Roger about it.
yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
I think that she says, well, we can make new traditions. Very common Christmas movie thing,
Yes.
right? We're going to make
Oh,
some new
yeah.
traditions,
we'll do
right?
Christmas our way.
Exactly. And then he gives her a copy of the Christmas Carol and she does an old tradition. It's like the first thing. They don't watch Charlie Brown Christmas.
No, they don't.
She just reads A Christmas Carol.
And my memory of it was that they curled up and watched a TV show because
Yeah.
we see Roger loving American TV shows.
We also see Roger loving Dark Shadows, which is much more interesting and not at all Christmassy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it is definitely a Christmas episode. It's just not the Christmas piece of it. I just wish it was tied in better. And here is my personal closing argument.
Okay.
And it's a pro that's also a con. My pro was you'll be visited by 3 ghosts. because it's Frank, right? We have all that talk about Frank, and we see his lover at the whatever. There's obviously Jamie showing up in print, and then we see Gaelus's skeleton,
Oh my God.
right? So like 3 ghosts.
Cool.
So past, present, and future. And to me, that would be Frank is the past. Gaelus, based on what we know, is the present, right? Claire's also thinking about time traveling. Gaelus repeatedly time traveled. And then Jamie is the future, right? So that was how, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this sort of works. And it is. I am 100% reading that into that, me personally. I don't actually think that that's intentional in the writing.
I don't think it is.
But it could be, with just like a little tweak. It's my favorite Christmas story of any kind format is It's a Christmas Carol, but we've tweaked it slightly. Even if it's just a hint of it, right? Ghosts at Christmas. I mean, there's a huge tradition of telling ghost stories at Christmas anyway, having nothing to do with Charles Dickens. Predates A Christmas Carol. But it's like, it's right there. You just have to reach out. And then there you go. 100% a Christmas episode. That becomes totally a Christmas episode because it's a Christmas Carol sort of worked in very loosely to tell this story about these other connections. The risk of time travel, the promise of a future love, the loss of a parent. And that applies sort of to multiple storylines, but if you use those as the anchors.
Ooh, that's good. And
yet, nope.
They did not.
I'm still pro.
There are so many... Frankly,
the bat suit, because also fan service is a gift. So we get the
That
bat
is a
suit.
gift.
We get Joe Abernathy.
He's so great.
He's so good. What a good character.
I love that thing of like you owe it to him to go back and tell him everything. Oh no, wait, Sophie says that. Hang on.
I guess.
Oh, am I attractive? LOL. It's funny every time.
Yeah.
Whenever both of those idiots are like, oh no, will she think I'm handsome? Or she's like, will Jamie still find me fuckable?
Yeah,
you
fuck off.
idiots.
You idiots.
I think that there's enough cliche in this episode to call it a Christmas episode. Frankly.
I think, well, look, how many of my pros were kind of like ticking the cliche boxes.
I can't help it. That's just the way I feel about Christmas is that I'm not a bah humbug all the way, but I have very different experiences of the Christmas holiday based on working in the service industry and stuff. So I do have a little bit of the like, yeah, move on. So I think that just the fact that it's got enough of that cliche fits into the cliche of Christmas. Right.
Nice.
Because you're right. Some of it is tropes. I fucking love tropes. Anybody who says tropes are bad is just not actually thinking about the stories they're
Julie,
consuming.
Get ready for RRR.
You're going to lose someone. However, there's a difference between tropes and cliches.
Yeah, like tropes.
But
to be clear, tropes doesn't mean bad.
Yes.
But
a trope can also be a cliche.
Yeah. Yes.
And if used lazily, a lot of tropes are cliches. And there are a couple of
I
big...
think there's some lazy ones here.
Yes.
But it is I think...
Also, nobody gives Claire a present that's like, a present I just want you to have because I love you. It's all like, here's a gem that you can burn up by going through the stones.
Oh, it's
Here
your
are some
birthstone.
coins.
I love it. And she puts it around her neck and it's like, this will be destroyed immediately.
Yes, this is going to be gone very soon. I know I have a wedding ring from a marriage that it was troubled at best, but no, I think I'll keep that.
I think it's a little bit like your kids giving you an IOU, I'll clean the bathroom coupon that you know they're never going to come through on that.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just what gifts moms get.
Coins you can spend in Edinburgh. I mean, that is very useful.
Very useful.
But I'll tell you what, it isn't Christmas in the book. They are in Edinburgh and she goes and buys like a Laura Ashley dress because like, I don't know, retro dresses are
trying
in.
to look like,
she goes shopping and they seek out coins. It's not Christmas at all.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, based on this counterpoint, I think we all agree it is a Christmas episode.
It totally is.
For good or ill. It has...
Mostly for good.
Mostly for good. It is a good episode, but there are things that we all feel are a little bit... and you put Christmas on it.
Yeah.
An outstanding episode. Some of the Christmas elements are... the tree's a little o'erhung.
But I'm glad that there is an Outlander Christmas episode. And I've been watching a lot of Christmas content the last couple weeks, and it's one of the better ones in terms of like the actual experience. Like it made me feel a little bit festive, you know?
Yeah.
I felt a little festive, and also it's just very good when he faints.
At the end, I've seen it before. I've talked about it with so many people, and as Katrina was a little bit breathless, like she asked the kid for the directions, and the kid's like, "Oh, it's right down there," blah blah blah. She goes, "Thank you." Like she's a little breathless
You know
herself.
what? That scene does have a little bit. You, young man, what day is
You
this?
there, boy.
Yeah.
What day is it? I mean, how do I get to?
Yeah, it does
the
have a
print
little
shop?
of that.
Yeah, I found myself like getting breathless, and when she walked in and she, like, could barely breathe, and when he turned around and both of their eyes start, like, I was. Ooh,
That was a great moment.
They're both very good.
God, it's good.
She has that. I'm so elated. I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled. I'm terrified.
I'm scared.
Right? And
The
you can see is like, is this really happening?
Am I
having
seeing the
a
ghost again?
stroke?
Mhm.
Is this a ghost? Am I dying? Am I asleep? Like, what is going on? But real doesn't actually seem to be much of a possibility. It's you can watch his brain be that incredibly intelligent man. You can just watch his brain go, nope, nope. And then it's just,
Well, it's like because he's seen her as a ghost before.
Yeah.
he's used to that.
but
This
not
doesn't
it.
seem like a.
But it's
ghost.
not even noon.
It's not even noon.
It's not even noon. Now I just sound like Lawrence Chaney every time I do a bad Scottish accent. Julie Scottie hasn't met Lawrence Chaney yet.
You will soon.
Lawrence Chaney.
You will soon.
Oh, is this a drag race person?
Oh yeah.
Hi, how you doing, RuPaul? It's the best. Yeah. Christmas episode.
Yay!
So, hey, happy holidays from us.
Yay.
If you celebrate, have a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, have a very happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate, we hope you have a great one. And if you don't celebrate anything at all, please enjoy the time off.
Yep.
Get some fucking half off Reese's Christmas trees.
Oh, those are good.
Those are really good. Eat whatever the fuck you want with whoever you want.
Be merry.
Be merry. It doesn't need to have anything to do with fucking capitalism or Christianity for you to be merry.
Amen.
Be extremely merry. Be gay and bright.
Yay!
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
The right stupid entry point. I don't want a lot for Christmas. Oh, guys, I miss karaoke. Me too. You know what is also good besides karaoke? Whichever podcast we just did. Agreed. Whichever one that was, it was good. Except for that one. That one was bad. That
Luckily,
other one.
I don't remember that one. I only
Yeah,
remember
neither
good
do I.
ones.
I know, it's strange. Just kidding, they're all good, which is why you should leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your listens. I don't know where people listen to things anymore.
No, it changes so.
YouTube? We have
so
people who
quickly.
listen on YouTube? It does. Thank you for listening to Podlander, Drunkcast, and Outlander podcast, or Girls Just Want to Solve Crimes, or Sick Burn Jane, or Podgerton Bridgecast, a Bridgerton podcast. We appreciate you. Thank
We
you for
do.
listening to us say shit.
Yeah.
It's good. We appreciate it. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/PodlanderCast. You can find us on Twitter at PodlanderCast. You can find us on Instagram at PodlanderCast or Podlander Presents or Sick Burn Jane or Podgertoncast, I think. I don't know. Go to any one of them and they will cross-link to the others. And you can also find us on Patreon, where you can support the show, join our very cool little Slack where we do not reveal the identity of suspects in a real-life murder and thus
Never would.
potentially get them killed. We do, however, talk about butts. So you can join and do that and support us, obviously, because the show is not possible without our wonderful supporters, some of whom are about to be named because that is the reward tier that they chose. But we love all of you, but these folks, they get their names said out loud. So here we go. I'm going to do my best to say it entertainingly. Let's see if that happens.
Already win.
All right. Brenda. Ha. Brenda. Ha. I want to make sure I'm getting that just how you went.
The ha.
Brenda
if that is not what you had in mind, auditorially speaking, when you wrote that as your Patreon name, which I fucking love, please send us a message. I want to make sure I'm
Saying it right.
I was thinking like the Big Bopper. Brenda. Now I feel bad for everybody else in this list because I've used all my steam on that one. Allison King, Doc JWS, I saw Goody Proctor with the Devil, Kelly Armstrong, Sydney Taylor, Catspaw 156, Maddie Perkins, Snazinac, Lisa Brienne, Julia Gulia, Kathleen Martini, Lauren Tennant, Kelsey Kemp, Emily Day, Bitsy English, Caitlin Reddick, Tina Barnett, Nicole Rodriguez, Kristen Freckles, Yuri, Ham on the Loose, Liz and Tinkerbell, Stella Wells, Rochelle Lefevre, Jerry Hertel, Amy Carlson, Emily Carlson, Emily Carlson, Amy Gustafson, Rachel Townsend, Kelly Mazzella, Chantel Salters, Tara Lucchino, Viv Pickles, aka Laura, Mary of the Grapefruit, Jenna Bulkowski, Ann Gibson, Ruth McCormick, Kara Marlowe, Trish McCurry, Julie DeToit, Jen Lynn, Kelly Bodden, Amanda Newton, and Kiki the Wise. Thank you so much for supporting the shows. Plural. You're the best. We'll be back next week to talk about that other thing, whatever that was that we
On
said
some
we would
other
be
show.
talking about next. It's something.
Yeah.
And if they are a thing you do in this month, happy holidays. Yeah. We are Muppet Christmas Carolists. That's our religion.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Led the lamb, not the rat. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, folks. Let me see if I can sum up Midnight Burger in about 25 seconds. It'll be fine. So this is how it ends. Eaten by wolves in space.
Pardon me, Gloria. Might my husband and I have a word?
The radio is talking to me.
Really big monster. Zero irony.
We're surrounded by cavemen.
What the hell is that?
Because you're having a cigarette in 415 million BC.
Where are we?
Space?
Can you narrow that down?
The bad part?
Ava. Yeah, that didn't work at all. At the nexus of all things, there is a diner. Look for Midnight Burger on your favorite podcasting app or just go to weopenat6.com.